He was a doctor by profession. Saving lives was his duty. But then came a moment when he was forced to beg people for money. Circumstances pushed him so far that he ended up killing a man, and even threatening others to steal their boat. What really happened? What kind of fear, desperation, or hidden truth drove a life-saving doctor to become so dangerous? Let's uncover the full story of this gripping film. The movie called Extortion. The story begins with Kevin Riley, a doctor, traveling to the Caribbean with his wife Julie and their young son, Andy, for a relaxing vacation. As they leave their home, their neighbor Lucas wishes them a great trip. Andy is full of excitement, asking endless questions about the ocean, the islands, and the adventures waiting for them. During the flight, Andy curiously asks his father about treasure islands. Kevin smiles and explains that those were places where pirates used to hide their gold and secrets. That idea fills Andy with even more wonder and excitement. The family arrives in the Caribbean and starts enjoying their vacation. Everything feels perfect, peaceful, and safe. Andy asks to ride a jet ski, and Kevin goes to arrange it. But all bookings for the day are full. Not wanting to disappoint his son, Kevin rents a private boat instead, believing it will be even safer and more comfortable. They head out into the ocean together. After some time, they drift far from the shore. Julie starts to feel uneasy and suggests they return. Just then, Andy notices a deserted island and excitedly asks if they can visit it. Kevin turns the boat toward the island. On the island, Kevin and Andy walk around exploring while Julie sits on the beach reading a book. The moment feels calm, ordinary, safe. After some time, they return to the boat and prepare to head back. But when Kevin tries to start the boat, it doesn't start. He tries again, and again, and again. Nothing works. There are no other boats around. No sounds. No help. Kevin, being a doctor, doesn't understand engines. Slowly, the sun begins to set, and the reality hits them. They are stranded. They spend the night on the deserted island. The next morning, Julie wakes up and sees Kevin still trying to fix the boat. He believes the battery is dead. Hunger, thirst, and heat begin to weaken them. There is nothing to eat, nothing to drink, and nowhere to go. Julie grows more afraid. Kevin keeps reassuring her, promising that he will not let anything happen to them. The next day, Andy's condition worsens. His heart starts racing due to dehydration and weakness. Panic grows. They stay in the water hoping someone might spot them. Julie stays with Andy while Kevin tries desperately to move the boat. Exhausted, Kevin eventually falls asleep. When he wakes up the next day, he sees a fishing boat nearby. He shouts for help. A fisherman approaches them. By now, Julie and Andy are unconscious from heat and dehydration. The fisherman gives them water and asks what happened. Kevin explains everything and begs him to take his son to a hospital immediately. The fisherman agrees, but only if Kevin pays $1 million. Kevin says he only has $40,000. The fisherman refuses. With no other choice, Kevin promises to pay the full amount once they reach town. The moment Kevin agrees, the fisherman strikes him with a paddle and knocks him unconscious. When Kevin wakes up, he finds himself tied inside the fisherman's boat. Another man, Jorge, is driving. Kevin asks about his wife and son. Back on the island, the fisherman replies coldly. He says they'll go to town first, collect the money, and then return for them. Kevin begs him to go back immediately. The fisherman refuses and warns him that there are thousands of islands, and only he knows where Kevin's family is. In town, Kevin contacts his friends and Lucas from a phone booth to arrange the money. He goes to the bank and transfers it into the fisherman's account. He believes it's finally over, that his family will be saved. But the nightmare is just beginning. The fisherman locks Kevin inside another boat. Out in the middle of the sea, he jumps onto Kevin's boat and begins destroying it. Kevin pleads, promises silence, begs for his family's life. But the fisherman leaves him there to drown. Injured and bleeding, Kevin manages to break a window and escape. He swims, barely alive, fighting pain and exhaustion. Eventually, another boat rescues him. That evening, Kevin reaches the police. Detective Hagen listens to his story, but doubt fills the room. The police question his actions, his money transfer, and the strange sequence of events. Instead of help, Kevin finds suspicion. Time is running out. His wife and son are still stranded on that island. And now, the entire world seems to be against him. This is where the real fight begins, not just to survive, but to save his family before it's too late. Kevin hires a taxi and travels to the place, where fishermen usually come to sell the fish they catch from the sea. He hopes to find some clue there that could help him. When he reaches the market, he carefully looks around and tries to talk to people, but he doesn't find anything useful. No one seems to know anything that can help him. Feeling disappointed and tired, Kevin slowly walks back toward the taxi. As he is about to sit inside, his eyes fall on the taxi driver's hand. He notices a deep cut on it that looks very similar to the wound he had seen earlier on the fisherman. This immediately makes Kevin suspicious. He asks the driver how he got that injury and where he received treatment for it. The driver calmly tells him that it was treated at a nearby hospital and mentions that only one hospital in that area handles such injuries. Hearing this, Kevin quickly asks the driver to take him there. When they arrive at the hospital, Kevin goes straight to a doctor and explains the entire situation. He tells him about the fisherman and asks for his location. However, the doctor refuses to share any information, saying that it is against hospital rules to reveal details about another patient. Kevin keeps insisting again and again, trying to convince the doctor. Finally, the doctor becomes uncomfortable and steps outside the room for a moment. As soon as he leaves, Kevin sees a chance. He quickly moves toward the computer and starts checking the patient records himself. After searching for a few moments, Kevin finally finds the name of the fisherman, Miguel Cobo, along with his home address. Without wasting any time, Kevin leaves the hospital. He takes a small surgical knife with him and heads straight to Cobo's house. When Kevin arrives at the house, he quietly enters inside. There, he sees a woman sitting beside her sick child, taking care of him. Kevin begins asking her about Miguel Cobo and Jorge. Just then, Cobo himself walks into the house. Kevin immediately confronts him and demands that he take him back to the island. But Cobo refuses to help. Kevin loses his temper and starts beating him in anger. Seeing this, Cobo's wife quickly grabs a crossbow, points it at Kevin, and warns him to leave immediately. At that moment, Cobo's young daughter suddenly appears from inside the house. Kevin panics and grabs the girl, trying to use her to force Cobo to surrender. He orders them to lower the weapon. The situation becomes extremely tense. Suddenly, in the chaos, Cobo accidentally fires the crossbow. The arrow flies forward and hits both his own daughter and Kevin in the stomach. The girl dies instantly, and Kevin falls badly injured. Filled with rage and pain, Cobo tries to attack Kevin. But Kevin, struggling to defend himself, pulls out the surgical knife and stabs Cobo. Cobo collapses and loses consciousness. Later, Kevin wakes up in a hospital bed. His hand is handcuffed to the bed. A man named Hagen arrives and accuses him of terrible crimes. He says Kevin hired the fisherman to kill his own family and that he is responsible for the deaths of the fisherman and his daughter. Hearing this, Kevin becomes furious and desperate. In a sudden move, he grabs a gun from a nearby police officer and forces him to remove the handcuffs. Then he quickly escapes from the hospital. Ignoring everyone calling after him, Kevin walks away and gets onto a bus. While sitting inside, he suddenly notices Jorge. Shocked, Kevin calls out his name. As soon as Jorge sees Kevin, he becomes scared and jumps off the bus, starting to run. Kevin immediately follows him and chases him through the streets. After a long chase, Kevin finally manages to catch him and stops him. Kevin angrily demands that Jorge tell him the exact location of the island where his family is stranded. Jorge is about to speak and reveal the truth, but suddenly a truck comes from nowhere and hits him hard, leaving him badly injured on the road. Even in that condition, Jorge slowly lifts his hand and points toward a location on a map, showing where Kevin's family is. Kevin doesn't waste a single second. Determined to reach his family, he pulls out a gun and threatens a group of people nearby. Using force, he takes control of their double-engine speedboat so he can rush toward the island and save his family. Kevin turns on the second engine of the speedboat, and the boat suddenly moves much faster, allowing him to escape from the harbor patrol chasing him. After traveling for a few hours across the water, he finally reaches the island. As soon as he steps onto the shore, He loudly calls out for his wife, his voice filled with fear and hope. He starts looking around and soon notices footprints on the sand. Following them carefully, he moves deeper into the island. After a short distance, he finds his wife and his son lying on the ground, both unconscious. Kevin quickly checks his wife and realizes that she is still alive. He gives her some water to help her regain strength. Then he rushes to his son and immediately begins CPR, trying desperately to save him. For a few tense moments, nothing happens. But then, Andy slowly starts breathing again. Kevin feels a huge sense of relief and thanks God silently. Without wasting time, Kevin lifts his son and carries him back to the boat first. Then he runs back to bring his wife. But while carrying her toward the shore, Kevin becomes extremely weak and loses consciousness. Both of them fall down on the beach. After some time, a helicopter arrives over the island and spots them lying on the sand. Rescue finally reaches them. And this is where the movie comes to an end. Before you go, tell us in the comments, if you were in Kevin's place, how far would you go to save your family? Don't forget to like, comment, and share. And make sure you subscribe to the channel Movie in Minutes, because one click from you can make a huge difference for us.